Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. I'm pleased to have with us book author Stuart Vyse. He authored Going Broke, Why Americans Can't Hold On to Their Money. Stuart, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
I'm great.
Good. Listen, Stuart, the open drain in Americans' wallet, is that really one of the core problems that why Americans don't have money?
Yeah, I mean, that open drain comes in the form of credit cards, but also too many ways to be separated from your money too quickly in America.
Right. Do we just don't have enough discipline because we are a nation of debtors?
Absolutely. In terms of discipline, I would say, of course, it's good to have it if you can. But the problem is that we've created a world where there are much greater demands on our self-control than there ever were before. 800 numbers, internet, television shopping, cell phone shopping. It's just there all the time.
Right. It's almost like an addiction. Would you agree? I mean, come on, we're being bombarded. We can't go to the grocery store without something being purposely put in one place so you can pick it up and put it in your cart.
Exactly. No, the science of consumerism is really intense and well developed, and it does put a real challenge on us every minute of the day. It used to be that when you went home, at least, there was a respite. You couldn't be separated from your money once you got back home. Maybe a door-to-door salesman would come once in a while. But nowadays, there's really the only time you can't buy anything is when you're asleep.
Right. And my wife would probably figure out a way there, Stuart. She's still working on it. I guarantee it. Or get yourself a safe place where it's vaulted, and no phones, just a 911 line, okay? All right, so how does one make sense with their financial failure, because there's a lot out there?
Yeah, well, I think that obviously the problem is that a lot of ability to purchase, a lot of credit available, and also, let's face it, some economic insecurity. People's incomes are fluctuating a lot. Many people are living on multiple part-time jobs and don't have the same security that they used to. And that sort of up and down in the income stream, if you don't have any savings, that's going to cause you a big problem. So that's a part of the picture too.
Yeah, one of the big problems that really what's going on now, and not only with the credit crunch and the housing, but it's the story of bankruptcy. It's getting tough for people out there, and the numbers are growing. Would you agree? Yeah,
they are. There was a bill in 2005 that made it tougher to declare bankruptcy.
Right.
But before that, there was over 1 million people a year, and it's creeping up again. And now, people have found another way to spring a leak, which is simply to stop paying the mortgage, and we've got this big foreclosure problem. So the basic pressure on us created by all this debt is still there. It's just leaking out in different ways.
Yeah, how does one get self-control and really take hold of their money and their finances?
Well, the way to do it is to implement some long-term strategies that are automatic. People don't save money anymore. On average, we save 0% of our income, and so therefore you need to set up a way to automatically save money if you can. A basic savings account for people who don't have it is a really important thing. And so I recommend automatic deposits into a separate checking account and then automatic withdrawals from that account into a savings account, and also to pay off your regular bills.
Right. And if you can work on paying some debt down and taking a percentage of your pay, like you say, pay some debt down, put some money away. I mean, you're that much farther ahead, aren't you?
It's very important. It's sort of old-fashioned advice,
right.
But in today's world, it's important to do it in such a way that doesn't take a lot of effort, and it will be something that happens whether you're paying attention to it or not.
Right.
In fact, it's better if you're not paying attention to it.
Right.
So automatic withdrawals into a savings account is the way to go.
Yeah, just as long as it doesn't get in your hands. It's got to go somewhere. Put it somewhere. Don't put it in your hands, and I think we'll be safe. And also, one thing too, as I always recommend, is if you get a raise and you don't really need the money, take that raise, take that percentage, and make it go away too.
Exactly. That's an excellent strategy, and if you time an additional deposit into your savings account to your annual raise, then it doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel like you're losing money. You just sort of go along the way you have been, and more is going into your savings account. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, it's almost like found money, if you will, Stuart.
All
right. New ways of wanting. I mean, we all have our wants, don't we? But how do we satisfy what we want without going broke?
Well, the figuring out what is a want and what is a need is the issue there. I mean, there's this sort of ratcheting up of what you supposedly need to have in order to survive. I mean, 10 years ago, very few people had cell phones, and now we all need to have them, right? And same thing for home air conditioning used to be thought of as a luxury. Now most people think of it as a necessity.
Right.
And so there's a lot that we could do by sort of re-examining whether we really need all the things that we need, and taking into account that this is an unsustainable thing. If you feel like you have to have all the things that are out there, you're going to ultimately get into trouble.
Right, I agree. All right, lastly, how does one go broke and then pull themselves out of the hole? I mean, how can they do it?
I don't have to give anybody any lessons in how to go broke. They seem to be doing that fine on their own.
That's right.
Right, but getting out of it is based on this idea of first of all saving. Putting together an automatic way to save. That's going to be the most important thing because that way when things go, when the car breaks down or the roof starts to leak, you're going to have something to do with that other than put it on a credit card.
Right.
That's one thing. And the other thing is that a number of people have sort of started to push back the commercialism in their lives. I think that you should think about the amount of time you spend in leisure time activities that are shopping or spending related. Find other ways that are much more satisfying to spend your time.
Yeah, another good example, and this is one of probably thousands, if you will, Stuart, is that you mentioned the cell phone, and I know people that have gotten a cell phone, but they said, you know what, I have the cell phone no matter where I'm at, whether I'm at home, on the car, or I'm at the store, somebody can call me, so I don't need a landline. So people are getting rid of their landline. So, maybe they're picking up the cell phone, but maybe they're smart enough to get rid of their landline, too, if they absolutely don't need it because they have the cell phone service.
Right, yeah, many people are doing that. I think that they end up paying more than they used to on their cell phones sometimes. But it's true that many people now have both. Yeah. And that's where you have this sort of ratcheting up. There's expenses are the getting rid of the landline is one case in which an old need is being dropped, and that's good. But for many people, these things are being piled on top. And that's the problem.
Almost like an a la carte cable service, right? It's just like, well, for another $5 I can get this. Oh, God, for another $8 I can get that too. And before you know it, you've piled it up, like you said. All right, now, Stuart, where can we get the book at?
You can get it pretty much anywhere. It's available at all the online booksellers and Barnes & Noble Borders and so forth. So.
That's perfect. Do you have a website?
Yes. StuartVyse.com, StuartVyse.com.
All right, awesome. All right, now head out today. Get a copy of Stuart's book. Again, it's Going Broke, Why Americans Can't Hold On to Their Money. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, your local bookstore, basically wherever books are sold, you can get a copy today. Stuart, thanks for being on Traders Nation. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
You're more than welcome. Stuart Vyse, Going Broke, Why Americans Can't Hold On to Their Money. And boy, is that true. And if now's the time, of any time that you guys really kind of need a book like this, viewers and listeners, now's the time to get a book, because I tell you what, it will help you understand why money's being spent, where it's being spent, and how you can get out of being broke.